On Monday's Wales at 6. Another day, another flood. A month since Monmouth was underwater, yet more Welsh communities are devastated by wet weather, with businesses counting the cost.
It's a small business, and be honest with you, surviving small business here is difficult. But that doesn't help at all.
Also on the programme, a special reunion. The family of a fisherman lost at sea returned to the lifeboat station that helped search for him.
And it's a city with something to celebrate. Join me later for the extraordinary story behind Cardiff's very special anniversary.
Good evening. Heavy rain has seen homes and businesses flooded, with nearly 100 millimetres falling in some parts of Wales. In Neath Port Talbot, some opened their doors to 2 feet of water this morning and are now faced with extensive damage just 10 days before Christmas. Isa Farfor has tonight's top story on another difficult day for those hit hardest by the elements.
This is what people here in Neath woke up to this morning. Homes and businesses surrounded by water. And for many people here, it's not just damage, it's their livelihoods floating in it. For this business owner who came here from Ukraine, today's flooding has been heartbreaking. Her wool shop, a place that means so much to her and to the community, has been floating in dirty water.
It's a business where people come and have a nice time. It's art therapy. People enjoy themselves, coming, having lessons, creating wonderful things. But today we have a bad day because water come in and flood everything, and it's horrible. But what can we do about it?
I can see you're upset.
They say water is the source of life. But here, it became a source of pain and devastation.
My mum is absolutely distraught right now. It's really hard on her because, I mean, this business is only 5-6 years old.
In a statement, Neath Port Talbot Council said all resources are being deployed and crews are prioritising property flooding and dangerous road conditions. And people here in Neath, like communities across Wales, are asking the same question they ask every time this happens. How much more can they take? Isa Farfor, ITV News.
Another difficult day for people there, and Ruth joins me now. Ruth, it does feel like this rain just keeps on coming.
It does, Katie, and you only have to see the emotion of people, really. It's devastating, and I'm sorry to say that actually there is more to come. Parts of Wales still covered by a number of weather warnings, and you can see those on your screen now. So parts of the north, Flintshire and Wrexham, parts of South Wales covered by Be Aware warnings. Those run until midnight tonight, but of more concern is this amber area you can see covers much of the South Wales valleys, places that have been hard hit, as you've been saying earlier, Katie, likely to see more rain tonight, and that warning runs until 9 o'clock this morning. So as you can see, we're not quite out of the woods just yet.
And what can people do, if anything, if they're worried?
Well, again, I mean, just be careful, be vigilant, I suppose, is the main advice. But if you are at all concerned, again, let me put a number on your screens for you. This is the Natural Resources Wales floodline number 0345 988 1188. And, of course, the Natural Resources Wales website, which covers flooding alerts and warnings, is updated 24/7, every 15 minutes. Well worth checking that one out. And, Katie, I'll be back a little bit later in the programme with how things are shaping up over the next few days. There is more wet weather to come, I'm sorry to say.
OK, we'll see you later in the programme, Ruth. Thank you. Well, just 1 month ago, it was people in Monmouth that were evacuated from their homes and left with thousands of pounds worth of damage to properties as a result of Storm Claudia. Mike Griffiths is there for us tonight. And Mike, the clean-up continues.
That's right, Katie. Well, 1 month ago, where we're standing now on Mono Street, the high street that runs through the centre of Monmouth, well, we wouldn't have been able to stand here at all. It was underwater. Along it, many businesses and also many more people's homes that were badly damaged by a torrent of water that came from the River Mono just a short distance away. Now, that day and in the days following, we brought you the stories of the rescue, of the recovery and the damage that was left by that water. Now, today, a month on, we've come back to see more of those stories of resilience and a continued recovery as communities here support each other to get their life back together.
Jaw-dropping pictures that showed the severity and scale of the floods 1 month ago.
You can see the bar area has been completely ripped out.
Claire and her partner run the Robin Hood pub at the bottom of town. They've lost both their business and their home, but are determined to come back.
This is currently, or was, the bar area. Obviously, you can see they're ripping it out from where it was. I think one of the things to come out now is the floor. The water just came from all directions and straight into the pub. And by the time we got to the stairs, which is literally just over there, we were over knee-high in water. We lived upstairs, obviously operating the pub for just over a year. We did get stuck upstairs for just over 12 hours until we were rescued. We can't currently come back in. There's no... obviously it's damp, it's like a building site. I'm currently helping a few of the other locals cook for the residents around Monmouth that have suffered from the impact of the floods. So we all volunteers up at the Methodist Church. So we're cooking them, we're boxing them, and then they're going out to all the residents around the area that are still suffering from the floods.
Yeah, there's lots of...
They're far from alone. The Castlegate medical practice was also hit hard. Before the surgery can be rebuilt, it still has to properly dry out.
All the walls have been stripped away up to about 1 metre, I think, and then the floor has also had some damage, so they've had to strip the floor away as well to get down to the base layer before they can start the drying out and then the refurb. We've been able to relocate a lot of the team to Raglan to work from temporarily, and then also we've been using space in the local community hospital at Monmouth. So it's meant that actually we haven't cancelled any appointments, apart from a few vaccinations that we lost because they were in the fridges that got flooded.
Many businesses here have been able to reopen, some though only in recent days. And although for many people here life won't be back to normal for a long time, everybody's very keen to say that this is a town that is open for business.
The sight of this toy shop underwater was seen across the country. After a big effort, they've been able to reopen and replace their stock, but they say the whole town still needs support.
I've been doing business all my life and I've never seen anything like it, and I was just numbed. You don't know where to go first. Fortunately, nobody was hurt in the floods, but everybody's been working so hard here to get the business going again. People are coming to us, and I had a lady come up from quite a way on the weekend just to support us, and that was just so nice. Such kindness has been shown, and I've never known that in business like it's been here over the flood. And I've been in business a long time, and people have been wonderful.
The Welsh Government says it's given more than £2.5 million in support, including grants given out by Monmouthshire County Council. People here want to put the worst behind them, but know many still face some difficult months ahead.
Well, it's lovely to see the way everyone's kind of come together, isn't it, Mike? But no doubt, as you say, some difficult months ahead. What is the timescale for especially those business owners who've still not been able to reopen?
Well, Katie, it depends on who you talk to, and it is a question many would say, even though some of the worst affected, of taking it a week at a time. There's very much a sense here of wanting to have a sense of normality. You can see behind me the Christmas lights are up, the Christmas tree is here, and many businesses have been able to reopen. Some of the chains that have teams that have been able to come in and help them deal with the massive damage they suffered, and independent businesses who've pulled together and tried to find innovative and new ways of being able to trade and open again. The pub, for example, that you saw in my report there, they're a listed building, so there are conditions on them that are attached to how they can do that kind of work, but they desperately want to be able to reopen. That distinctiveness, that character is part of the charm of this town, and people really want to be able to preserve that and continue to operate and serve people in the way they have for many years. Let's not forget too, many people's homes affected, facing a very uncertain Christmas, living in different places and still unsure of when they'll be able to move back to the places that they call home.
OK, Mike in Monmouth for us this evening. Thanks very much indeed. Elsewhere, the First Minister says she stands with the Jewish community in Wales after yesterday's anti-Semitic terrorist attack in Australia. 16 people died after 2 men opened fire on crowds celebrating Hanukkah at Sydney's Bondi Beach. Eluned Morgan described the scenes as horrific and said there is no room in Wales for hatred.
I've no doubt that the Jewish community here in Wales are feeling vulnerable, and it's really important that we stand with them and by them, particularly after the very recent attacks in Manchester. This is a difficult time of year. It's a time, though, when we should be coming together, that we should be supporting each other across the different faith communities.
Close friend of the late Queen Elizabeth and public figure in Wales, Dame Siân Leg-Burke, has died at the age of 82. She was the owner of Parc and had strong ties with the royal family as one of the Princess Royal's ladies in waiting. Her family said she was an inspiration to them and to the many people she met over her years of service to Wales. There's been further criticism today of plans to expand Bridgend's HMP Parc to house nearly 350 extra prisoners. The Ministry of Justice says prisons across Wales and England will be overrun if the expansion doesn't go ahead. But today, a Senedd committee heard that ongoing safety concerns with HMP Parc should be addressed first. Well, Rob Osborne's with me in the studio now. Rob, who exactly is raising these concerns?
Dr. Robert Jones of Cardiff University, probably Wales' leading expert on prisons, hence his appearance before the Senedd committee today. And he is echoing concerns that have been voiced elsewhere about the potential expansion of Parc, as you say, over 300 places. Why? Well, we have reported extensively, haven't we, on Parc Prison and the problems that they've had inside, something he echoed in front of the committee today.
I don't quite understand why that decision was taken to expand that prison at that particular time. One, given the safety problems that have been widely reported on. Secondly, Wales already has the highest in-country imprisonment rate in Western Europe and a prison place surplus that will only add further to it at a time when the Welsh Government is pursuing policies to try and reduce the number of people in prison.
What's been the response then, Rob?
Well, as you can imagine, a lot of people are interested in what may happen at Parc, including Parc's owners. A spokesperson for Parc said, well, they acknowledged there had been some serious problems there in the past, but said there has been significant improvements to the prison in the last 18 months or so, and no apparent drug-related or self-inflicted deaths since last year, middle of last year. We should also say this is all part, of course, of the UK government, because they are responsible looking at the role of prisons. Are there enough prison numbers? And the Ministry of Justice say they are working with the owners of Parc Prison, that is G4S, on looking at new measures.
OK, Rob, thanks for the update. Still to come, Ruth will be here with more details on the wet weather. And Ella is out in Cardiff celebrating a very special anniversary.
Yes, Katie, join me later for all the secrets behind our capital's platinum celebrations.
But first, the family of a fisherman who died after his boat sank off the Conwy coast have returned to meet the volunteers who searched for him almost 5 years on. Rescuers from Llandudno lifeboat station spent days searching for Ross Ballantyne and his crewmates Carl McGrath and Alan Minard in difficult conditions after the Nicola Faith was reported missing in January 2021. Though none of them survived, the family say the RNLI never gave up. Rob Shelley was there for the emotional reunion.
Llandudno's lifeboat station's a landmark, but for some people it's more than that.
How are you? You okay?
Nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
Hello again. How are you doing?
Almost 5 years ago, January 2021, Lowry Taylor and Andy Ballantyne were here when the search began for their brother Ross, one of 3 crew members on board the fishing boat Nicola Faith, which had disappeared off the North Wales coast.
Have you been physically back to this place?
No, I've never set foot in here, so today was... I just wanted to meet the crew. I really wanted to see face to face and give our thanks.
The boat's disappearance sparked one of the largest searches seen in recent memory off the North Wales coast. At one point, 5 separate lifeboat stations were involved. All 3 men aboard the Nicola Faith died when the boat capsized.
Pretty brave coming back here.
Yeah, it's hard, it's difficult, and we've got to get ready for Christmas another year without a loved one, so it really hits home. But seeing their strength and determination and courage on the search is what makes me stand here today.
Not every rescue is a rescue.
No.
But for that relationship to continue is rather a wonderful thing.
Well, I think it was a big thing for the community. We had local stores and shops bringing in food supplies, fresh cakes, everything. Everyone tried to do their bit in the town just to help us here as a lifeboat station and all the volunteers. On the evening of the first search, you're going home and you're thinking in your mind, have we looked in all the right places? What if? And then we were preparing for the next day's search.
This time of year, obviously, we reflect on service calls that we've had over the years. We think about those that we have saved, but obviously we start thinking about those that we haven't as well.
It might all run on powerful engines and volunteers, but the job here never really stops, even for Christmas. Last year, the lifeboat service launched almost 120 times just in that week between Christmas and the New Year.
I saw firsthand, unfortunately, on the search just how amazing they are, and you've just got to remember that this is a charity. RNLI, they need the support to be able to go out there from people.
And there will always be the next launch, the next search. Rob Shelley, ITV News, Llandudno.
Thanks very much for your company this evening. Here's what's coming up straight after this programme.
Coming up at 6:30, the terror attack on people celebrating the first night of the Jewish festival, Hanukkah, on Bondi Beach. There has been an outpouring of grief for the 15 people killed. 9 have been identified. A British-born father of 5 and a 10-year-old girl among them. Here, resident doctors have agreed to take strike action this week, walking out at 7 a.m. on Wednesday. And why houseplants could be next year's outdoor garden trend due to climate change. Would you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
Now, this week, Wales is celebrating a very special anniversary. It's 70 years since we officially crowned a capital city. Cardiff was, of course, the winner of that title, beating off competition from Carnarvon, Machynlleth and Swansea. Ella Lloyd is in the city for us this evening, where it's looking, very festive for a platinum anniversary, Ella.
Yeah, Katie, it really is, isn't it? It's hard to imagine that these Victorian arcades have been here longer than Wales has had a capital city. Just 70 years since that happened. So I've been finding out a little bit more about why it took so long and why, like you say, with so many options, Cardiff was chosen. 70 years ago, if you'd have picked up a newspaper in Wales, the headlines probably would have looked something like this. Wales finally had a capital city.
The government is very reluctant to give Wales a capital because they believe that it may strengthen Welsh national awareness and lead to further devolution. As with hindsight, they were right.
Right, they were. The seat of devolution now sits firmly in Cardiff Bay, but its throne was not always guaranteed. Some were concerned about the city's suitability, and those worries remained on the 25th anniversary.
Syniad Saesnig ymerodrol fel petai ydi cael clamp o ddinas ddiwydiannol fawr yn brif ddinas, ac nad ydi o ddim mewn gwirionedd yn gydnaws â ysbryd y genedl Gymraeg.
Although not everyone was convinced, one thing in particular had cemented Welsh identity here.
As kind of sport develops as a denominator of national consciousness, big rugby games. It's in Cardiff that the Welsh national team beats the New Zealand All Blacks for the first time ever at the beginning of the century. So people start perceiving Cardiff as more Welsh.
Back in 1955, things were very different. Clark's Pies had just opened up their last remaining shop in the city. The future Prime Minister, Jim Callaghan, was one of the MPs, and the Bluebirds were playing top flight football. Times have definitely changed, but when it comes to capital cities, does Cardiff top the league?
Cardiff would be the only capital for Wales. When you look at how it's structured, get off the train, the bus, whatever you are, you can go into the centre of town, you can go onto the outskirts.
I find that a really nice city to be living. People are friendly. I feel at home, to be honest.
Home indeed. Home to nearly 400,000 people. And for those trusted to keep house, the anniversary is a moment to reflect on the city's journey and its relationship with the nation.
We are the capital city of Wales. We want to make sure Cardiff is delivering for Wales, but I think that in turn also attracts a lot of Welsh people, young people. You know, I count myself in this, who might 30 years ago have had to go to England to pursue a career. Now you can pursue a really fulfilling career here in Cardiff.
Look closely and you'll see the city is wrapped in the flag. What isn't visible, though, is the potential a capital has unwrapped for the country.
For Wales, getting a capital city was another little stone in the mosaic of creating of official recognition for Wales as a nation. So in a way, you can see this as one milestone on the way to our Senedd and to our, to where we are now in 2025.
One milestone. Plenty more, perhaps, to come. A short history for you then. As I mentioned in that report, a lot of change, not just for Cardiff, but for Wales as well. And I'm joined now by Carolyn Brownell from For Cardiff. Carolyn, these arcades are such a fixture of the city and they've seen a lot of that change. Tell us a bit about them.
There's 7 historic arcades in Cardiff that are Edwardian and Victorian. The Royal Arcade has been here 167 years, so they have a really rich history. But I think one of the things that has been really exciting is how they're evolving and changing. When you see about some of we're standing in the Castle Arcade now, they're going to be opening up a food hall for 12 different vendors that will be able to house 600 people. You've got the Morgan Arcade that I think is a real sort of hub for micro businesses and Welsh brands. So they're really beginning to kind of learn and grow and flex as the city develops.
You mentioned it a bit there, but what are some of the things that you're doing to try and make these arcades modern for a modern capital city?
I think you've got to sort of celebrate what they do best. So I think a lot of what we've done in the festive period has been additional lights so that actually people can come and experience the arcades looking their best. But also if people feel safer, and I think people obviously are more likely to sort of, to have expand their dwell time in the city centre. We've also worked with the arcades on a 70th anniversary event where we did 70 days of activity. We had live music, we had immersive events, we had pop-ups, we had various different things around with offers and events with businesses, and it really led to a kind of a big surge of, I think, like national pride for the arcades.
And we saw a bit in my report there about how the city has reinvented itself. Going forward, what's your vision for this as a capital?
So at For Cardiff, we've recently launched a report about the 70th anniversary, and we asked, it was 1,000 respondents actually, about how they see the future of Cardiff. And I think in terms of how they feel Cardiff is now, I think it was 76% said they felt that Cardiff was a welcoming, inclusive city. There were some comments as well around actually about how they're excited for the future. But I think in terms of how Cardiff can evolve and grow, it's looking at things around our transport infrastructure. You have, the South Wales Metro that's kind of been built now. You've got things about the rejuvenation, so whether that be the new Debenham site and the kind of city park that's opening, as well as things around, really leaning to us as an events capital. We really punch above our weight when it comes out on a global scale, and I think that that's only going to go from strength to strength, as well as just getting the basics right about things being clean and safe so people can enjoy this space.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. Well, as you heard there, lots of hope and ambition for the city, so who knows, in another 70 years' time there may be another reporter stood here talking about what's happened in 140 years.
Ella, thanks so much from the arcades in Cardiff. And you can watch Ella's full reports on ITVX and on our website. Well, Ruth is with me now. Ruth, we heard at the start of the programme about the wet weather, and there is more to come, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I mean, there's no other way of putting it. We're not quite out of the woods just yet. And let me show you on the bigger picture. I think it shows it quite nicely. So the band of rain that's brought all the misery out there today will slowly edge its way eastwards overnight tonight. A bit of a respite tomorrow. Do your Christmas shopping tomorrow before it all goes downhill again for Wednesday, then settles for Friday. So it's going to be very, very hit and miss. But I did mention Wednesday there. And we already have weather warnings in in force for the middle of the week, and those warning areas yet again cover the south. And as we've been seeing throughout the programme, southern parts of Wales have really borne the brunt of the wet weather today. So as far as Wednesday is concerned, not necessarily the volume of rain, but the fact that it's falling now onto ground that is so saturated. So surface spray, localised flooding yet again going to be a real talking point. So as far as the next 24 to 48 hours are concerned, as I mentioned, it is going to be hit and miss. So let's take a look at that in a little more detail.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Well, I'm afraid it keeps on raining out there. Not pleasant by any means. Just be careful on the roads. Now, the good news is the band of rain that's plagued us through much of today will start to track its way eastwards, fizzling out as it goes. So after a wet start, it's going to be a dry end to the night. And we'll see lengthy clear skies developing, perhaps a little bit of a breeze, but we could see some patches of frost developing through more sheltered rural spots, maybe some mist and fog as that breeze drops back. So for some, quite a chilly start to Tuesday morning. Any frost will lift, that mist and murk will lift too. And on the whole, Tuesday is shaping up really rather nicely. I'm sure we'll all be glad to see a little bit of blue sky and sunshine, and there'll certainly be plenty of it, maybe turning a little bit hazy inland later into the afternoon. But generally a dry and bright day. Could see perhaps just a few spots of drizzle across the northwest where the cloud is thick enough, but nothing that's going to put a dampener on your day. Temperatures, though, thanks to the slow and chilly start, will take quite a while to recover. So possibly feeling a little bit fresher tomorrow than it has done recently. Highs of around 8 or 9 degrees, which is actually where it should be at this time of the year. And under clear skies through Tuesday night, if you are out and about, wrap up would be my advice, because it's certainly going to be chilly, so we will see frosty conditions developing. Then you can see rather ominously another band of rain that will start to push its way into western areas during the early hours of Wednesday morning. Means Wednesday is going to be another one of those wet and windy days, heavy rain, and we could see possible gales developing. Again, though, a southerly airflow means temperature-wise feeling a little bit milder, so back up to around 10 or 11 degrees. And as far as the rest of the week is concerned, I think unsettled largely says it all.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Well, when you know it's mild, and that's the best you can say, you know it's not the best of forecasts. Too mild at the moment for a white Christmas, but we've still got a little bit of time to go. We'll keep you posted on that.
OK, Ruth, thanks very much. And that's it this Monday evening. I'll have your next update after news at 10. Until then, thanks very much for watching and have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.